He was successful, or Marcia.
No, not Marcia.
There you go. Multiple hats.
Okay.
Get it, Mike? In there, okay.
And Marcia, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Well, very good. Well, I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is Finance Committee. Thank everybody for being here. July 21st, 11:35. Looks like we have a full boat. Everybody from Parda is here. I have not heard Virginia, but I see that she's online. I know Dave's online. Jeff, I see you're online. You can hear us okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thanks so much, Jeff. And then we also have Marvin Woods is joining us today. And can you hear us okay?
Marvin, you need to unmute.
And what I do see he's here. He's one of our newer board members. That's great that he's able to attend, and I welcome him to the meeting. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you. Sorry about that. We'll go ahead and get started. And do we need anything else with the call to order, or we're okay with the, okay, we're good, Bill? It's a little different in the Zoom world. I'm, not raising your hand or hearing voices. So as long as we're okay, I'm fine with that. So we'll dive right into old business. Rebecca?
So we don't need to do a roll call?
That's why I was just asking how we're going to do it on Zoom. Bill, I can't hear you again.
Marcia, would you like to do a roll call?
Sure.
Marcia will do a roll call.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
Mr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Ginn,
Here.
Ms. Harris. She's connected.
And she's gone. And it looks.
Lost her.
Mr. Childers,
Present.
Mr. Woods,
He's on mute.
Had to unmute himself.
yeah. And then mute him from there. Ms. Amrine,
Here.
Ms. Jurish. Here. Mr. No. Schrader,
Here.
Mr. Troutman,
Here.
Ms. Baba. Here. And I'm here.
Are you sure? Thank you, Marcia. All right. I think we lost Virginia in the midst of that. At least I don't see her, unless I'm not seeing everybody like last time. But we will move on to old business.
Okay, so I emailed out all the reports on Friday. Do you all have them in front of you? And we'll just kind of review them.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so for the month of June, we should be about 50% of the budget. Starting in June, we started collecting farebox revenue again. You can see that we received, between farebox and ticket sales, we received $16,000, 468. So that was good for the month. We started collecting agency cash grants again. Our KSU revenues are down obviously because school is out. We did receive $441,000 from sales tax. Again, that the whole effect will be seen probably as we move forward into the future. as to how that's going to be affected. And other revenues was from advertising on the buses. We did pay all of our employees. We're under budget on wages and fringe. And all of our expenses are within the budget. Some of the items are timing issues as far as, for example, other materials and supplies is a little bit higher than the monthly budget. We have been buying extra materials and supplies for the PPE for the COVID. For the month, we did have a deficit of $52,000, but year to date still have a surplus. Any
So
thoughts?
Rebecca,
Yes.
on revenue,
Yes.
the one that was the biggest difference was the monthly budget of almost 73,000 for the state capital maintenance assistance, which was that a timing issue or is there something different there?
Well, it's a timing issue. You can see that we've actually already received it. So that originally I thought I would have received that money in this month in June, but we actually received it early. Any other questions?
I'm good on that one, Rebecca.
I see
Good.
Virginia getting back in. I thought I would just wait and see if she had any questions.
Virginia, welcome back. It appears you're on mute. Are you with us?
Well, as she settled, I will just then keep moving. The next report is the capital budget for Parda. We did draw down funds of $175,000 for the bus storage facility. You guys got a little tour of what's going on last month. It is still looking good and hoping to finish it in August, around in August. But it is looking good. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a drawdown in May. There were no drawdowns in June. But I did have a couple invoices for the bus storage facility. And then we purchased a tractor for $37,000, $37,200, which federal 80% will be reimbursed to us by the federal grant and 20% will be reimbursed to us through the state capital grant. So that is the numbers on the capital report. Any questions on the capital report?
None.
Okay, moving on to the next report. So you can see the cash and the payables dramatically changed from last month to this month. The building invoices that we just talked about, they haven't been, at the end of June, they hadn't been paid yet, but they were booked in June on an accrual basis. So that's why the payables increased. You can see from the last report, $565,000 in buildings and improvements and the $37,200 for the tractor under transportation vehicles and equipment. The other thing I just want to point out, which isn't shown in a variance, under current liabilities, the second line item, advanced payables, last month was at $166,000 and this month is $241,000. I did go ahead and have a loan transferred from PARTA to the Central Gateway of I can't remember if I just said the amount, $75,000. $34,000 of that actually is a reimbursement from grant funds because we did some deck cracking or traffic coding and at the gateway that is listed on the capital report for the gateway. And we were able to use grant funds to fund that. So again, $34,000 of the $75,000 loan won't necessarily have to be paid back because PARTA owed that to the gateway anyways. Does that make sense? So there's about $40,000 that the gateway will pay back to PARTA. I'm hoping before the end of the year, once it gets back on its feet and has a good flow. Any questions about PARTA finances?
No,
I have none.
I have none.
Great.
no,
Residential gateway. For the month of June, we had 1,907 monthly cars and about $1,000 transient for 2,961 total cars in the deck. That's about 100 cars per day. Obviously, that is better than last month. And every day we're getting more and more cars. So again, most of them are monthly parkers, and that is increasing. We've also had people that have started staying at the hotel. So you'll see that on the next report. Anything that you really want to know or talk about as far as these numbers on the graphs? Okay. Moving on to the revenues and expenses, report A. As I just mentioned, you can see almost $3,300 for the hotel overnight, and then $15,000 from monthly parking and $1,500 for the daily transient parking, for a total of $20,000, $20,500. We're under budget on all of the expenses, with the exception of other services. I looked that up. Under other services, we had an additional $3,400, which that actually could be grant dollars too. We paid for some lighting while they were doing the deck cracking, because parts of the garage get dark in corners and stuff. So they had rented some lighting to be used. That was $3,400. That was in other services. Traffic lights.
Well, we got.
Oh.
We got half of the ramp closed down and then we were receiving a portable set of traffic lights like you'll see or something. Traffic to a single lane. We had to put a portable traffic lights.
Can you guys all hear that?
Oh, I couldn't hear.
Could I ask a favor before Brian says what he said again? If you're not on right now needing to speak, if you can mute. We're getting some feedback, which I think is causing part of the problem. So if you can mute, and then Brian, it is hard to hear the second row. So if you can speak up, I'd appreciate it.
What we did is we had to rent a set of portable traffic lights like you would see when they're doing construction work on bridges, when they limit the bridge passage to one lane. When we were resealing the traffic coating on the ramp of the deck going up, we had to put a traffic light at the top, traffic light at the bottom, so that we could make sure that we had safe passage of vehicles up and down that ramp while the work was being done. There was only one company out of Cleveland. We're one out of Cincinnati, like $7,000 for me to have them brought in. So I had to rent them from this company out of Cleveland, and there was a certain amount of time that I had to rent it, or I couldn't get them. So we rented them for that period of time and got the work slammed in and out the door. And it was, like she said, $400. But it was something I had to do. Either that, or was pay somebody to sit there all night and make sure that nobody were running into each other up and down that ramp. So
Yeah, the invoice just said lighting, so I made an assumption it should have.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
On the A+ report, if you guys tabbed over to the summary report on that Excel workbook, you can see the A+ report, and kind of shows you trend. You can see the revenues that have started back in and the expenses, which show that they're right in line with what they should have been. So year to date, we are showing a deficit of $65,448. We have 357 validations for the hotel, which on average was $9.22 per validation. Basically what it normally is. Any questions on revenues and expenses?
No.
Okay, then the last report is a statement of net position. You can see it more clearly under liabilities, under the advanced payables. You can see that $75,000. I will then also book the reimbursement, as I mentioned before, for the traffic coding on next month's report of $34,000. So that advanced payable again will change. You can see the $34,000 under fixed assets under capital building. Any questions about Kent Central Gateway?
I have none. Anybody else have any questions for the reports?
No.
Thank you. So it's a little bit of change, maybe. I don't think it's gonna, for the gateway, Rebecca, do you think it's gonna get any worse, or do you think it's kind of stabilized depending on what's going on?
Can't answer that.
It's getting a little bit better. Each week, we're picking up a little bit more. The hotel went from having 10 rooms available a night. I think they opened that up a little bit on the weekends. There was a wedding, I believe, a wedding party scheduled on July 27th, which was that this weekend coming up this weekend. So there's some increased activity, nothing even remotely close to what we would need, but just like the transit operation, the numbers are creeping up as we go, so.
Yeah, and I think there is a lot of unknown, Rebecca, back to what you were saying. We're not sure how long this is going to take or when things are going to start to turn around.
Or if it's going to dip again.
Well, it's very true. Unknown is definitely a big part of it. All right, any questions overall for any of the reports before we move on?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, so it looks like everything's in line. I'm comfortable, Rebecca. There's a couple things I want to talk to you about, but it's more nuts and bolts. I'll give you a call today or tomorrow, if you're okay with that.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. And I don't think there's any resolutions, is that correct?
No, but I do have some new business.
New business, here we go.
Yeah, so we have completed our state audit. It was a very good audit, and that has been filed with the state. This committee serves as our audit committee, and normally there would be an exit interview. So a couple questions for the committee. One, would you like me to have our auditor come online before our meeting next month and give a typical exit interview? Or would you like me just to send out the reports with no meeting? I do have a letter that is written to you as the audit committee from the auditors. I will send that via email, probably one at a time, and I'll need you to sign the last page and send it back to me. So I guess I need to know if you guys would like an exit interview, is I guess the first question.
Rebecca, is this the same auditor we had last year?
Yes, it is. And he's just going to say all the wonderful things about us.
I don't see a need to have a in-person report.
Okay. All right. Then.
Yeah.
Is everybody agreeing?
I'm fine with that.
Jeff? Jeff doesn't care.
Virginia?
I'm here.
sorry,
Are you okay with just the report and not having a face-to-face?
sorry.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. Rebecca, that'd be fine if you can send that on to us, please.
I will send out the report and the letter, the audit letter, and then if you guys could sign that and send it back to me, that would be great. And then the second question I have is normally I would bind reports, ask them to the board. Do you feel that a report is something that I should do and then mail out to everybody, or is sending it out to email? Or think about.
Rebecca, now, and maybe everybody else heard you okay. I did not.
You broke up a little bit.
Yeah, you
Oh.
broke up. Second question, please, again.
The actual audit report, normally I would have it bound. We do it here. We have the binding equipment here. I would bind it and pass out an actual hard copy of the audit. So that's the question. Should I do that and mail it to the whole board or just email it out to the people who have emails?
I would be fine with an email version.
Email's fine for me.
I can get email.
Online.
Yeah, Claudia just reminded me it'll be online, and there will be a legal notice in the paper that it is available here at the office for any public or anybody to come and review it. So I will go ahead and send it out via email.
I'm fine with that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I love reading state audits, so this will be a good one. A couple of them here. All right, anything else under new business?
No.
All right, thank you. On my agenda, I have no resolutions for discussion.
No.
And if needed, do we need any executive sessions today?
No.
You have none, I'm seeing nothing. Anything else for the good of the cause before adjournment?
No.
So easy today. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, team, for everything. Rebecca, like I said, I'll reach out to you within the next couple days. Marvin, I don't know if you're with us, but thank you for joining us today. If you have questions, I hear a voice now. Yay.
Oh, I'm still here.
All right, good. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'd love that you're taking part in it. So thank you very much for that. With nothing else, I'll ask for a
Wait,
motion for adjournment.
Did he say as a question now, Marvin?
Oh, if you did, I missed it.
No, I didn't have a question. I was
Okay.
just confused with the mutant part of it. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden it just came on.
Yeah, we're adjusting to the technology. It's definitely easier face to face, but this is much better than if we had 7 or 8 people calling in on one conference call. So I do like the fact that we have this ability to add the video to it also. So, but thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.
All right, it's going to have a motion for adjournment.
I so move.
Virginia moves. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second for adjournment. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We'll stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the day and stay safe.
All right. Y'all do the same.